Hey guys, if you cannot already make out, I am making a video on all my Philodendron collection, and there's a very important reason why I made this video right now. Show you the effects of the weather change, namely winter, on the Philodendron class of plant. So let me just show you the different kinds of philodendron plants that I have. One of them is, of course, the Philodendron Red Emerald here, which is growing tall, and there are many of the successful propagation that I did previously by cutting up the extension. I can cut up again more and grow more and more plants. So I'm waiting for the lower plants to grow a little bit big and make this bushy. You can see the stick. So the ultimate aim is to make it so full around that the stick is not visible at all. So this is Philodendron Red Emerald, this one. So its stems and new leaves are completely red, beautiful red. And so, but the leaves are normally of green color. And you have already seen that Philodendron collection in all of my videos, and you can see that their states have deteriorated a little bit. So, with the decrease of humidity and everything else, uh, they do deteriorate in terms of health. They will have yellowing leaves, and some of the leaves from the bottom will fall down, and all of that. But you should not worry about that. That's completely normal. And unless you're overwatering it and you're making sure that you're only watering it when it's completely dry, you should not worry if philodendrons during this winter kind of a time have this weird transition weather. Like right now, it's hot today in January in Kolkata. It was real feel was above 30 degrees Celsius suddenly, and before that, last week it was very cold. The low was as low as 8 degrees. So it's that transition that confuses the plants. It confuses us humans too, and it will confuse the plants as well. So it's completely natural to have weird yellowing leaves. You can see that this plant was doing very well, but right now it is kind of yellowing, and you can even see the Brazil philodendron. So it's not doing very well. It's not looking very healthy because of a low humid condition that it's currently in. Yeah. So let's do something. Let's also show you my other philodendron. So this is Brazil philodendron that I showed you. So the Brazil philodendron plants, variegation is completely dimming out because of lack of light and all of that. So I recently started putting it in the east facing balcony. Uh, I also had put this Philodendron Red Emerald in east facing balcony because it was deteriorating and in the earlier space. So in summers, if I keep it in east facing balcony, it will just not survive because it's so hot and so dry outside. It's just very hot outside. But right now, it's east facing balconies are a good place to keep philodendrons who need a little bit of light. My favorite philodendron collection are these two right now. Do you see the beautiful? I don't know what it's called. I think it's Philodendron Moonlight, as far as I know. And I so philodendrons are characterized by this thing that comes in with the leaf. So the function of these things on the side of the leaves, new leaves, are to protect the new leaves. Actually, that's why. So in forest, when they are crowded with other plants and all of that, so the function of these things that come out of leaves, the orange things, in case of Philodendron Moonlight, and you can see that's a characteristic of Philodendron throughout. You'll have this. I forgot its name, but that is something that will protect the new leaves. So this is Philodendron Moonlight, and as far as I can say, this is Philodendron. Uh, um, I think this is Philodendron dark. So the leaves are green. So the older leaves are green, and the younger leaves are a beautiful shade of red and dark maroon kind of a plant. And this, as far as I could tell, this is a Philodendron black cardinal or something like that. Cardinal black something. So this has extremely dark green foliage when it's mature, and when it's new, it looks something like this: shiny new leaves. So, and this part, the protection on new leaves, is called cataphyll. So all philodendrons have that. You can recognize a philodendron probably by the presence of cataphylls in many of the philodendrons. So my favorite is also this bright red moonshine plant that I have. And this here, the cataphylls have a beautiful orange tinge on it. You can see, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it's like new guys also coming in, and do you see the orange stem here? This is the cataphyll that the new leaf is being protected with. So that's pretty much it. And I wanted to show you another plant that is there, which is my favorite Philodendron Birkin. This is, of course, collector's item. And you see, sometimes the cataphyls will dry out if the leaves mature. And see, a new leaf is there. Another new one is coming up. So the entire idea is here that philodendrons like dry soil, but they don't like overly dry soil. If you keep it dry for longer periods of time, over 2-3 weeks, they'll start to show a little bit of deterioration. And sometimes I do that, I become so lazy, I stop watering, and it just becomes something. But this is also my favorite, Philodendron Birkin. So actually, this is cultivated in. So normally in nature you cannot find this. This is cultivated. So a lot of times after this plant matures, if one of the leaves, suddenly turn not working like it, kind of reverts itself back to the original cultivation point. So at that point, you are supposed to propagate and all of that and make multiples of it. And but I don't really want to cut this up. I'm very proud of this guy. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves and eighth one on the way. So it's not yet that mature. I think I cannot even cut it properly. So for cutting it, you need a point where you can cut it properly. I don't have that space yet. So no cutting yet. On another hand, the other philodendrons, Araceae, all these neon, the normal one, and the Brazil philodendron, these are very easy to propagate because you can just keep it. You can just take one of this branch here, put it back, pin it, and it will grow. There's so many branches growing like that. I mean, there I can't even count the number of branches that are there, but they are stunted in growth because of suboptimal conditions right now. They need more humidity. These guys will grow very fast and very swiftly in the hot and humid weather of Kolkata. Right now, the humidity is much, much lower, and the temperature is not that low. So it's trying to grow because the temperature is there, but the humidity is not there, and that's why I think it's not very happy and confused like us humans. So that's completely okay. So I'm still fertilizing these guys every now and then. If I see new growth coming out of plant, I will fertilize it. Even though it's very very slow, so I will reduce the frequency of fertilizing. Normally, I would fertilize plants every 2 weeks, but in winters I kind of dial down on foliage plants a little bit because their growth becomes much slower. And but it's still there. If it's there, I will fertilize it every month, and otherwise I will alternate between I also avoid over fertilizing by diluting the fertilizer a little bit. That way you can even if you fertilize twice every month, you are safe from over fertilizing side effects. So usually this is the fertilizer I use, seaweed fertilizer, And sometimes I use fish fertilizer as well. It's also very, very good. It's very stinky, but best fertilizer for all of your plants. It's even better than the seaweed. The seaweed smells a little bit less funky, but the fish one smells terrible, terrible smell. But it's one of the best fertilizers. You want to see overnight success of plants, flowering plants, any kind of plants, foliage plants. Fish fertilizer is the way to go. So it's also the philodendron's favorite. So, and how do I control pests on all my fertilizer? I control it by a very simple means, which is neem oil and a dishwash soap solution. And I make sure to spray at least once every month when I spot, let's say, okay, so let me talk about pests in fertilizer, in philodendrons. One of the most susceptible plants I own in philodendrons that are most susceptible to pests is micans. Micans, I'll attach a photo of how healthy it was before, but it invariably deteriorates. This is one of the most, what do we call it? Weak, no, not weak, I mean, it's more susceptible to pests, and other plants are very, very hardy. And this plant is very soft, you have to care for it more and all of that. It's very high maintenance. So this philodendron micans is very, very high maintenance according to me, but it's still growing so well. See, the growth is really good. All of these got dropped because of pests and dry conditions and all of that, and it dropped yellow leaves. So the leaves usually convert into something like this, pinkish tinge. That's when it's turning yellow and will drop off soon. So, see, this is turning yellow, and this will turn a little bit pink and yellow, and then it will drop off. That is what it is. But I've not cut this part of the branch off because there is still some new growth coming in. What I'll do is later on, I'll put a pot to the right side of it, pin it, and then when it's rooted there, I'll just clip it off from here. And voila, you have two more micans. So that's what I've done inside as well. If you can see, there's a lot of new growth coming inside. This is completely full. The pot is full. Although I just had 2 or 3 branches, it's completely full because I always keep pinning inside to create backups of plants. So if the upper part of it gets infected, I can still snip it off and have a very good bushy plant at the bottom. That's what I do for all heartleaf philodendrons. It's one of the easiest ways to propagate. I use these pins, hairpins, steal it from wherever you can, and just pin it there at root points. Poke it and pin it there, and it will get rooted over time. Because it doesn't matter for you whether it gets rooted or not. So it's basically what it is. So this is my philodendron collection, and nearly all of them have same care. But this recently had a yellow leaf. You probably can't say that now. Oh yeah, you can. So you see this one. I don't know if you can see it. This I had to cut it off because it got yellow. And but you see, there is still so much growth that it's fine, right? It doesn't feel anything. So sometimes yellow leaves are normal part of the season change that happens. And I'd like to talk more in detail about the species, and I love this group of plants because of how well it survives the Indian tropical weather. And it's just amazing. I can have any number of philodendrons, and philodendrons, each and every one of them are so different from each other that it's truly unique. Even though all of them are philodendrons, it's like each and every one of them is so unique that I love to have them all. So it's just one of my favorite plants. Uh, mm, all the other plants pale in comparison because of how well they do and how varied they are in terms of. So I go to nurseries and keep on collecting this. These are some of my new collections. This I got online from Soiled, and these two I got from local nurseries, Cardinal and Moonlight. Um, this is also something I got locally. No, the Brazil one I got online and made a pot for myself. And the one that is hanging at top, that I got from local nursery. So keep a lookout. You'll definitely find philodendrons across the breadth and length of this country, anywhere in any local nurseries. So, and that does really well in variety of conditions. It does winter well, it does summer well, humid, non-humid, everything. is just amazing. And very low maintenance plants, especially for lazy gardeners like me. Hope you enjoyed philodendron. I always enjoy making videos about philodendron. And see you in the next video. Happy New Year to everyone who is watching this, and hopefully you watch this during this January, so it's still Happy New Year, not Happy Old Year. I will be making an update video on my garden outside, and also I'll be making a video on my wish list for this year, wish list plant collection for this year. So keep a lookout of it if you enjoy plant content. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.